It's Weird Wednesday, everybody. Is Jen logged on yet?
I am here. You wouldn't be able to be recording yet if I wasn't here because I'm the host.
That's a good point. That's kind of weird. I never thought of that until just now. All right. Well, hello, everybody. I've logged on, I guess. All right, here we go. You going first or me, Jen?
You can go. You can start us off. I'm just trying to get my life in order and have some coffee.
Okay, so I thought with all of my Midwest amazing college education that I was pretty smart. I'm driving down the road through the beautiful scenery of the Midwest in spring, which is brown. And as I'm driving through there, I'm like, this person's kind of going kind of fast around me. And they come up around me and they fly by me. And I was like, huh, I thought I knew what hands free driving was because I got a feature on my truck. And when you're driving, I could talk to people. No, hands free driving is the person that passes you in the Midwest on a 2 lane, and you see both their hands on their phone, nowhere close to their steering wheel, doing whatever they're doing and trying to drive the vehicle with their knees. So that was a little different. Passing me is what they were doing. That was weird.
That's a little alarming. That's a little alarming, but also that is Midwest hands-free driving.
Oh,
That is what it is.
you
So
know,
that sort of also makes sense to me.
people used to say when I grew up that we didn't use a lot of information when it came to verbal skills. And I like this texting. This texting is more like we used to talk. Cut out a few words here and there, say what you want to say. I like it. So anyway, yeah, that's what hands free was. So,
Okay, well that's good. Um I've got one for you that's currently going on right now.
okay.
So it's raining the day that we're recording this, and I thought, I guess, I
Monsooning,
guess,
not just raining,
I
monsooning.
guess I don't know or maybe understand how chemicals work. But most of them I feel like rain washes away. Apparently not to this lovely gentleman. So just to give everybody some background, we do have our yard sprayed for pesticides and like pre-emergent stuff and dandelions and all that stuff because I don't want my neighbors calling stuff on me. We live in an HOA neighborhood and I don't want them calling on me. So we pay to have somebody do some of those services just because we're not home to get them done at a routine basis. Well,
Kind of neighborhood where they mow the height of your grass and that it can't have the trash can out so many minutes before. Yeah, that kind of place.
yeah, we're moving as soon as possible.
Yeah.
We're trying to leave so hard. Um,
You're 2 minutes early taking the trash can out. Stand down. Okay, sorry,
Yep,
sorry, sorry.
yep, I can't manage the trash can, so I can't live in this neighborhood. That's how that goes when you travel a lot. Things you don't think of when you take a traveling job is trying to manage your trash. But anyway, so that's weird. But yeah, no. So he's out here spraying and it's pouring, and I don't feel like this is gonna work. So I'm not sure why we're doing this, but we are. So maybe he knows something that I don't. But hey, it's par for the course. It's Weird Wednesday, right?
So, all right, so here we go. So we did the last Weird Wednesday, talked about, it's tornadoes, the Midwest, all that kind of stuff. Said in that episode I was going to go to Texas, wear my hard hat around, driving, all that kind of stuff. So I'm down there working. I'm having a great time. All of a sudden, the skies start getting dark. Everyone in class looks at me like, this is kind of funny. And then all of a sudden the radio goes off. Everyone take shelter, take shelter. I'm like, this can't be happening. So we go take shelter in the middle of the plant. And while we're doing it, I get a screenshot of the alarm on my phone that's going off, take cover, storm in the area. And it was within almost 2 minutes of when a year and a week ago that I had the event, which is pretty crazy. The storm would be at 554, 555, whatever. So I thought, well,
I'm telling you are a black cloud.
it
So
was
for
crazy.
everybody who doesn't know, our entire family calls Joe a black cloud
Yeah, they
because
do.
everybody
They
wants to
do.
know, why do you have so much experience? Like, how could one person have so many explosions and fires and ammonia leaks and other chemical leaks and all these catastrophic injuries and amputations and fatalities? Like, what is going on? This cannot be real. Oh, it's real. It's real with the black cloud. That's like everybody's kind of like, who's training? Is it Joe? Because there's a really good chance something weird is going to go down that morning if Joe's there doing the training.
So an hour. We're in the plant an hour, and after an hour, we say, "Okay, I think we're good to go." So we go back outside, and I wasn't finishing class, so my team was. I'm on ahead of my hotel because I'm going to do class tomorrow and fly out, and everyone knew I was doing all this. So I get out in my vehicle, and skies are great again. I'm like, "This is not that bad of a day after all." And you got to understand, it's like 80 degrees to 40 degrees, like within that hour. And I pull up the stoplight. Stoplights aren't working. Well, that happens. I go to my hotel. Nothing's lit up there. That happens. And then I go to get my room, and I'm not able to get in. So I go downstairs, and I'm like, can somebody help me? And this guy goes up and is able to get in my room. After about 30 minutes, me sitting in the hallway, calling everybody, my family saying, I'm in the hallway.
Because why?
They lost power.
You had the key card.
Yeah, and they were having problems with them working. Yeah.
Yeah, the backup batteries were not important to replace in that moment. In Texas,
so they finally get my room. Yeah, they get me in
Texas
my room.
in the springtime. Everybody knows we're gonna have problems.
And I open up the window shade so I can have the Highway 35 lights is my only light because I realized I have no power in here, and I also realized it's gonna get cold tonight. So that was exciting. Yeah, I'm wearing like thermals and everything, trying to sleep, but I'm like, how much weirder can this day get? The positive part was,
well, then you got to get up the next day and still not have hot water and still have to shower.
That was awesome. That was back to the military days. You do like 1, 2, 3, go, and then you think you're tough. Back to the episode before you think you're tough. No, not that tough anymore. I don't like the cold. So anyway, that was now the only positive part about that. I realized if you are traveling and your hotel has an area downstairs that sells adult beverages, they don't have their computers working either. So they said to me when I went down to ask for the key, well, do you want anything to drink while you're down here? And I walked over and said, sure. And they said, what room number are you? And at that moment, I realized they don't know. So I was on the fourth floor. I said 562. They don't have 562. I didn't know how to be a real number. Point of it is, that was some interesting. I'm like, how do they record that? You just put whatever room you want. 142. That's my number. Put it on there. Give me 5 while you're at it. Everybody gets around. I always wanted to do that my whole life, like those commercials. But anyway, that's when I got to do it. So that was my weird for that.
Oh yeah, well that story continues though, because then you had to fly out the next day and
yeah. So I fly out. So this is Thursday night. I do my training Friday. It's beautiful weather. I get on the plane Friday night, and I'm already told I'm being delayed. And then I'm finally going to get on the plane, and then they delay me again. And where do? I catch up to that same exact storm almost exact, because I fly in, and it's a blizzard. I'm like, this is awesome. So now the thing that took out the power the night before puts me in a blizzard. I'm driving through the mountains. I'm like, this 1 week is just interesting.
Well, yeah, you're flying into the northeast part of the country, into the mountains. Didn't your pilot say something like real alarming? I feel like I would have been like,
well, I've flown a lot of my life and flown through 2 pretty bad hurricanes where like we were last flights out. And when that was one of the roughest flights of my life.
Like for 20 years though. Yeah. Like literally for 20 years every week, many flights.
We dropped 3 times. We dropped 3 times where we completely came out of the seats. And we land, and the first thing the pilot says, sorry about that rough ride. I don't really like roller coasters either. And I was like, yeah, if that guy's saying it,
that makes you feel real warm. But at least he didn't hop on there and be like, well, I'm not sure if we're going to make it, but I'm going to do my best. No. I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, do my best.
That's just to let everybody on here know. So we have a daughter, and I played soccer, and she was at a soccer game playing. And so it's really hard for me, even though she's little, to not say anything at all. And so I cheer for her, and I'm like, whatever is going on, I try and like give a little bit of I'm not mom. I can't help it. I try really hard to not be because I know they're annoying. But so anyway, she comes over, she leaves the game, she walks across the field, and she goes, Mom, I'm trying my best. So at least that's not what your pilot said that day. I'm trying my best.
Yeah. Or he didn't land and be like, Whew, I'm glad we made it. I mean,
So I got one. I got one, and this happened to me today too. We have been trying to have a little bit greater presence on LinkedIn just because we are trying to get our podcast out there to all of the different industries that, and all the different locations that it could help. Our goal is to try and help people as much as we can. We're already gone every day, so I don't care about that. But we're just trying to get the free data out there to the locations that need it. I guess this is ladder safety month. I didn't know we had a ladder safety month. That was like a national ladder safety month thing going on, but apparently that's a thing. And I've seen all of these graphics and everything on there about, don't carry anything at all in your hands when you're walking up a ladder. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not real. That's also not real. We have to sometimes have things in our hands. And they're trying to give all these different options of things you can do in place of carrying stuff in your hands. And I get it. You want to be able to have 3 points of contact and maintain that and have a good handle on the ladder. But if you're telling somebody to do all these steps, it's going to make them lean back 2 feet and they're like leaning off of the plane now because they're trying to take this huge bulky backpack or whatever off. And maybe their shoulder, like my shoulder has been torn out. And so I don't have the same range of motion in both of my shoulders, as each other. So I can't take a backpack off on one side without like leaning way back and it being really awkward and cumbersome. So I guess the whole point of that one is that just think through all of the end users' uses for some of that advice to make sure we're not introducing additional hazards that maybe weren't there before by trying to solve one. Let's not add others in its place. It's weird to me.
all right, well, a couple of final things. My truck smells like rendering. That's what I was told this week from people. For those of you who don't know, if you drive your truck and park next to rendering, it smells like rendering.
It did.
So just to let you know, little things. You don't need to worry about having any little things
I thought
hanging.
the dog. Well, I thought it was the dog. I
No,
was like, "Is that
you
the
don't need
dog?"
any.
And then I literally took a second and I was like, "No, that's
That's
rendering,
rendering.
and
I
you
mean,
weren't even by rendering."
it's a different kind of ambient. It's a smell. It's very acquired. Not everybody has the ability to have that fancy smell. People like the new car smell. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
You just
I remember, Joe, do you remember the college trainee? This is funny to me too. The college trainee was at one of our locations and we drilled in rendering and she was literally dry heaving
yeah,
during the
it was kind of different.
drills.
Like it's rendering. It's okay.
I was like, this is probably not the vocation for you.
All right, last one here. I'm down there and walking by a plant, I'm looking for the fox. This particular plant's got a fence line and a fox out there, and I'm always looking for something different. Think about when you're walking around. And I said to them, "Where's the fox?" "I don't know." "You want to tell you about the llama?" I'm like, "You got a llama now?" And they said, "Well, what happened was we came out of the maintenance shop the other day, and we're looking outside for the fox, kind of also, and this llama goes running by right outside the fence here of the plant." And they were like, I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, no, what's weird is the guy running after it with a rope trying to lasso it. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. And they said, will that make your Weird Wednesday? I said, absolutely. So that's why I made
That makes
Weird
me
Wednesday.
laugh.
So
That's super tough.
I've got a guy running.
How do you feel tough running after a llama?
Running with a lasso, trying to lasso a llama while a bunch of maintenance guys are watching you. And they're like, huh, that's something different you don't see every day. So that's what we want to close with today is that I hope you have a little fun today. I hope you think something different, and I appreciate you listening to us. Jen, you get to close out.
I don't have anything. Just spring's almost here. So
Spring's almost here.
there.
Hopefully we'll get another, plant some stuff in the garden, and hopefully the freeze comes soon. We get to do it again because that seems to be the luck sometimes. All right. Everybody have a good day. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Safety first. Stay safe.